part deux of the show today with myself and Tina and David. And today, I'm going to hide that off the screen because I don't want you to see that yet. That's the big surprise. Right. Well, we don't know what happened then, do we? Because
again, I'm blaming Tina.
Yeah. Our gigabit internet just sucks the life out of everything. I don't know.
I have no idea what that was. I have never seen that anywhere. And I've never seen other people experience that. But I will tell you that Facebook live video, no matter what platform you have chosen over the last few weeks, I have seen all sorts of types of wonkiness happen. So I'm actually blaming Facebook.
Yeah. Well, it is. I agree with you on that. It is Facebook because Webinar Jam was still transmitting.
Yeah. We could hear and interact with each other and do all the stuff. And I just, I don't know. I think Facebook is doing things to their API and just not telling everyone.
It's on a need-to-know basis.
To the API. It's the royal pain in the, as we would say over here. I'm sure you share the sentiments as well. Right. Okay. Now, to point, we've been able to bring this show forward by a little bit. I've got a big announcement to make, and I promise to keep a straight face on this. So the big announcement is here now. Be Live TV now has emoticons, which means that you can express yourself using the emoticon language at any time. The emoticon language is on the agenda and in the on-screen updates. So you can now give your audience your reaction, and you can use fruits, you can use transport, and you can use sport, and you've got about 150 different emoticons to go at. Well, I'm going to hide that. Right. Sorry. Right, that was for a big announcement. That went rather well.
That was great. I thought you did a wonderful job, and with the.
Right, what I did. I mean, I showed the apples and the fruit and the sport.
Okay, Be Live. Why? What's the point? I don't understand.
I think.
If we could throw apples at the screen or something, then that would be cool.
I think somebody came across and said, I would really like to be able to include emoticons
in my agenda.
In my agenda and stuff.
And it was an easy thing to give. So here.
Well, let's put it this way: the emoticons that we're showing are building up quite an audience. Right. Okay. Now, good morning, Marky. Hello. Nice to see you. That's one of two people, because it's not you or me, and it's not David, and it's not the other David.
April or Brigetti.
Right. And Robert is saying it makes it stand out, and
it does not.
Really?
I don't know. Let's have some fun with this.
What does it make? What is it making stand out? Aside from the fact that it's already some type of lower third that's on the screen, how does that make that stand out more?
Well, if you're better at choosing emoticons than I am, then obviously you could actually make better use of it.
I like the apples.
Yeah, I fell for the apples. I think the car and the tree and the third one are quite good. And then obviously soccer and tennis, and as we call it in the UK, bowls.
I don't get it. The apple, if you're like a doctor and you're on here talking about health or fitness or wellness and food or something, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, you could use it as an illustration. Anyway, just to make the point, BeLive.tv now has emoticons on the agenda. You can add them and save them, and you can bring them up during this show. And obviously it's a step forward, and it allows you to communicate better with people.
So,
all right, okay, and
just another way that millennials have broken the internet is what.
There is a generation gap, David, I think. Yeah.
Because that's the explosion of emojis and emoticons and whatever. Yeah. Thanks, millennials.
Right. Okay. We do thank you for okay. We don't have an agenda. We can go with anything. Hang on. Yeah. Okay. I know it's not on the agenda. Does BeLive work well with an iPad to broadcast from?
No.
No. There is. If you're using the Facebook API, you have to undertake not to allow people to start a hosted broadcast from a mobile, and that includes iPads, Androids, and Android tablets. Do you agree, David?
Yes.
Yeah. That's basically. And Tina, do you agree?
I don't want to anyway, so.
Right. Okay. There is basically what Facebook have said is the mobile market for hosting shows is ours. As a third-party developer, you can use the API, but you're not allowed to do it to host a show from there. You can come in via iPad and tablet and
Android and everything.
Android, yeah, anything. You can come in as guest, but you can't start a show from mobile. And I've got to say that officially.
So thanks, Facebook, is what you're saying.
It's Facebook rules. I mean, this is their playground. This is their soccer match, or tennis court, or bowling green.
Or 8-ball.
That worked.
But yeah, I mean, as we discussed on Tuesday, you can go live through Facebook on mobile using other resources, but you're still breaking the terms of service when you do it. So
yeah,
I think we've all been in Facebook jail and we don't like being in there. So
well, Facebook's if we were going put in jail for a couple of days, it's not a problem. But if BeLive or I was going to say Smile Time, then if BeLive got put in jail, then we'd have a whole different kettle of fish. So I know I spoke to Zafria about it on Monday. This is never going to happen until the terms and conditions of the API are changed by Facebook. It's not going to happen on BeLive unless somebody hacks it. But I'm not saying any more.
So how can we combine our two programs here? How do you use emoticons to build your email list?
Don't. Next question. There is no better answer than don't.
Just don't do it.
Don't.
I'm trying to find a suitable emoticon. Just give me a second. It has to be said, what I'm going to do is I'm pressing the plus on my agenda now. I have an emoticon where you normally put the title. You've got an emoticon. You then scroll down and you can have people emoticons. You can have nature emoticons. I'm going to go with that one. And you can have food. Now we've had apples. I suppose lemons would be next. Is lemons okay?
I feel like I'm playing slot machine or something.
Once you use an emoticon, then you can replicate it. You don't have to go searching for it. And you can have activities as well. So if you're into jazz, then you can have jazz. So
there's nothing wrong with jazz.
No.
Nothing at all.
Country.
And you can mix it up.
Why are you looking at me?
Country.
I hate country music, actually.
I think most people actually hate country music.
But are we allowed to say so?
I just did.
I enjoy all types of music except country. I've just never been able to get into it.
Not a fan of rap either. So.
No, I join you on the rap because that.
Oh, and the worst thing.
Taylor Swift even went from country to pop.
You can combine those two and have like the worst music ever. There are like country rap, like I don't know what the hell they're called, but country rap, something, those two things combined, it's like my worst nightmare. And there are bands out there that play whatever that's called. I don't even know what it's called. It's just awful.
Mashup. That's what we'll call it. Mash up.
I mean, obviously, because it's emoticons, they can actually add emoticons anytime they like. There are about 6 different palettes at the moment.
Yeah, I just don't get. I mean, I don't see myself ever using the emoticons on the agenda. That makes no sense to me. Obviously, someone asked for it though, because they had to have a reason for putting that in. But it's not something, appear in. You can put like your emoticons to like flash up on the screen and do silly little animations or something. Yeah. I don't really even see a purpose for that when you're doing live. But I could maybe see me using that for some reason before I could see me using the emoticons in the agenda feature. I don't.
I can see occasions when it would be useful to show your emotions without actually saying something.
You're on video. I can see your emotions on your face.
Right now we've opened up a whole can of worms here because now we want animated GIFs.
The animated stickers are what's in the appear.in, and they're kind of cute. They're fun to play with, but we usually do that when we're just goofing off and meeting as friends or something. We're not broadcasting a show. I can't think of a reason I would put any of that up there for a broadcast. Me personally, it doesn't mean other people wouldn't, but not me.
No, I'm rapidly coming to the conclusion here that we may not be, and David looks frozen. I don't think he is.
He's not.
That we may not be the best 3 people to actually launch this new feature.
If they made the little animated stickers that said like kaboom and pow, then David could use those around himself when he's he does a show. What? Yeah, and wham. But yeah, I mean, other than that, like literally, if you're doing like a broadcast about comics and you wanted to have kapow show up on your screen to like stress something, then maybe. Yeah. But what in real life? When are we going to use that?
If you'd run a gardening show.
So let's flip it around because we're bashing the mess out of it, and that's fun. But let's mess it around because one of the things that I hate is when live video gets bastardized by marketers. And emoticons, honestly, really isn't a marketing thing. They're so maybe it brings some levity, some fun. Maybe it takes it back a little bit. Maybe that's BeLive's whole thing. Is like let's reel this back in away from all the marketers who are trying to, make live video boring.
Well, then you can just be boring with a smiley face and apples.
There you go. That's what it is. You could use the emoticons here. Kind of like a. Check marks. Of course, you can't have more than one agenda item on the screen at once. That would be interesting. Give us the ability to have agenda item, and just hide everybody's, faces in the background. But you could use them like little, like a check mark instead of a check mark. You get an apple. If you're, if you're a pear farmer or a peach farmer and you hate apple farmers, maybe an apple with a circle and a cross through it or something like that. Down with apple farmers.
I was thinking though, when I said bring something up on the screen like an appear in, to me that gives some fun and some movement and animation, maybe some way to liven some of the more boring things up. But having it just as an agenda, a line item in your agenda, I don't see me using that.
Can you have the emoticon and wording on the line item for the agenda, or is it just the emoticon?
Surely you can.
I'll be back in a moment.
Just
carry on talking, please.
Surely you can. It would make no sense to have just the emoticons and no words.
David's not being serious. Who is commenting as BeLive in 5? Is that April?
Yeah, it is.
The thing
Yeah,
was,
she asked for red lip emoticon, so it's April.
what we actually need is a printed chart which you can actually see them on, so you're not looking at something which is only so many pixels high. And because the danger is, of course, that you will actually pick the wrong emoticon.
Yeah, that could be
one which is not in relation to the moment. Yeah. So, yeah, emoticons are us, and if somebody's leaving the show, you want to thank them, you can give them the thumbs up. Okay, so somebody with some imagination is going to come up with a great way to use this.
Yeah, obviously it's not me because I can't think of any use for it.
Yeah, somebody who's 5.
Well, you know,
someone who's between the ages of 19 and 36-ish, millennial. You will come up with a wonderful way just to communicate your agenda via emoticons.
just emoticons, no words.
That drives me nuts. It's like, use words. No, it takes too long. Yeah, but it also takes you a long time to sit there and go, okay, let me pick the right. You could just type the word out. Thanks, millennials.
Yeah, I definitely prefer words. Maybe they want to draw kids to the platform. I don't know why.
Maybe maybe it's a millennial reach. Maybe it's like, hey, come away from Snapchat.
Yeah. Well, you are. Like I said, somebody had to ask for it. But the truth is, on Facebook, we're not mostly millennials, which is why I think people are sometimes surprised to see the live streamers on Be Live are older demographic. But it's just because that's who's on Facebook. And this only goes to Facebook. So you're not reaching Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram and all your other YouTube and all that. So that's why this is an older demographic. And that's why I don't think most people are going to use the emoticons.
Case in point, I did a bit of targeting this morning for our Be Live in 5 Facebook page, and I set the age range from 40 to 65 plus. That's where we are. Right. So just to recap, then,
what
as we
about
will
the
do several
40
times.
People? What about the 21-year-old life coaches? Why?
They can teach you. They have experience. They can teach you how to tell a story in emoticons only.
That's it. That is it. That is where their experience lies. You can send all your hate messages and mail to Stephen at the SHN Network.
All right. Okay. Okay.
Vincent says he could see for his show using musical ones on either side of my guest names.
Okay.
But that's it. Does it work for the? It's only for the right.
Yeah, it's only for the agenda, so it's not going to work on the guest names. That's pulled from Facebook, so it's just.
See, that would have been useful.
Yeah.
See, there's this category of useful, and then there's everything else.
Okay.
And it usually falls in everything else. And then we sit there and say, I need useful. And they say, what do you think we are? Walmart? Amazon? No. I'm bashing the mess out of Be Live. They're going to revoke my Be Live rights. I'm not trying to bash you.
No, we're not bashing Be Live.
I'm not bashing Be Live or the neat, nifty agenda feature that you put in. I'm bashing emoticons.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find some musical ones. There probably are. I mean, there are literally hundreds of.
By the way, we have somebody from Be Live watching. Hey, does it?
The only thing that I could think of using it for would be something like Vincent said, to put, if you're doing a show on jazz music, then maybe it would be cute to have the little jazz instrument or a musical note at the
Right.
beginning of your little agenda thing on the lower third. It brings a decorative element to the lower third, but that's the only thing that I don't see, because we don't use the agenda to comment and interact. It's really just this is the segment that we're talking about, or this is the topic that we're talking about. So whenever we're interacting and using emotion, we're either doing it here as we're speaking and looking at the people through the camera, or if we're actually typing a message in the comments, then we may use an emoticon at that point in the comments. But in the agenda feature, I don't see it being something that I will use. That doesn't mean no one else will. It just means I won't.
Right. Just to go with a point from Wade, where is the info to the last update? I cannot find the details. I've got to admit now that this is the official announcement of emoticons, which this is the first time it's been mentioned. It is available. We've done a good job of it, haven't we? It is available as soon as you start your Be Live show, you will see the option on your agenda to use emoticons. You'll see it on the on-screen updates as well. You just click the smiley face and that's it. You've got access to it. So there's nothing that you have to do. It was switched on today, so you can now show on screen emoticons. There are hundreds of them, and they're of all shapes and sizes. And it does mean that you can show your appreciation of something.
Yeah. We'll be watching to see how you use it, because
yeah, we're here to learn.
Yeah.
And thank you for that. I've got a back channel, Robert, which is good. And no, right, okay, you cannot stop. It's the same question. You cannot, for effectively legal reasons. Apple, sorry, start again. Shall I start again? Facebook have said that developers cannot host a multi-person show from mobile. Okay. Now, I know there are apps where it's single person. That's okay. It's not a problem. But more than one person on screen is, Debbie's looking quizzical, is Facebook's own territory, and they won't let you, as a developer, actually do it.
Boo,
okay.
Facebook.
Indeed. But there is a case for using it at emoticons in shows by younger people, and I'm going to cite here Emma and Lucy, who have their own show. They're both musicians, tutored and helped by Vincent Burkhardt, and they could, in their show, which goes out to decidedly a younger audience than ours, use emoticons quite effectively. So if you're just joining the show, Be Live TV now has emoticons. As soon as you start a show, you'll see it on your agenda. You can add agenda items with emoticons. And we're blown away by this, totally, aren't we, Tina?
If you could make your own emoticon and upload it, that would be cool, because then you could do little logos and things that make sense for your brand.
Okay. There's a thought. Now, obviously, of
course, we have frames and logos that we can overlay here, and that's sufficient. I don't see the need, I guess. But yeah, I mean, if people have fun with them, I mean, if nothing else, they're fun and cute. But I don't know. I don't see me spending extra time on my agenda to look for emoticons that make sense to go with whatever I've put on the agenda.
Oh, I do. I think you're holding back, Tina.
Well,
once this show's done, I think you're gonna be all about that.
I am. I'm gonna go emoticon crazy.
Have to reset up all these shows.
I'm gonna put all of the emoticons that's available on one lower third.
And I mean, create a new agenda. Select your emoticons, put them on that agenda, call it the emoticon agenda, and you can always then reuse it in any of your shows because it will be there permanently, and you can create on the fly items on your agenda.
I bet there's red lipstick or red lips, so April can start using that.
Well, in April's next show, we'll find out. We'll find out. It'll be good.
Tonight on. Oh, can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
If you are having a show to discuss the Emoticon movie, then you can use the emoticons in your agenda.
That would mean that person or persons was, one of two that actually went to go see it. I don't even think the people that did the voiceovers actually watched it. I'm speaking all, because I've not seen it. I didn't even know that there was such a thing until somebody was making fun of such a thing, and my son was running, and I said, "What is the Emoji Movie?" And my son goes, "Something no one's going to watch."
Well, it should be short, right? That's the purpose of emojis, is to shorten stuff, so you don't have to say and write so much. So it should be like 20 minutes.
You should think so.
I actually know people who watched it. I won't say their names because I don't want to embarrass them, but I do know people who went to see the movie. They have kids, though.
So apparently Tina and her husband have gone to see the Emoji Movie.
No, not me. My 10-year-old begged
How
to
did that
see.
not qualify as a direct to Netflix?
Yeah, I don't know. But my 10-year-old wanted to see it, not the Emoji Movie. Which we watched, by the way.
My kid wanted to see that too.
Yep.
And he did see it. I haven't seen it. Had
Neither
no
have I.
if it didn't have the original cast of it, and if it wasn't 8 hours long, there's no point. They left way too much out.
No, we watched the new one, me and my son, and then we had to watch the original, and he got bored in the original. He liked the new one.
Well, that's because it was 2 hours long.
Yeah. He's looking forward to part 2, but he couldn't sit through all of the original.
Part
yes,
2?
there's part 2, yeah. So it ends when they're still children.
Oh, so
And
that's how they're getting. Yeah. Instead of making an 8-hour made-for-television movie with John Boy.
With that terrible ponytail.
And what's her name? And what's his name? And what's his name? There's a lot of deceased actors in that movie.
The clown's still alive.
The clown is still alive. But apparently Pennywise did get his vengeance. Personally, I thought it was more funny, all the red balloons that started showing up throughout the U.S.
Yeah.
near sewers. I thought that was just funny as all get out, even though some people did not. Stephen, have you seen it? Are you a gore film person, horror film person?
I was back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. If I mention the Vincent Price to you?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee.
Yes.
Yep.
Peter. Oh. Anyway, we'll go with Christopher Lee and Vincent Price. Those were the classic horror films. There was no graphics involved. This was the real thing.
Right.
Yeah. Well, those were horror, not gore.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately,
okay.
The horror today is not horror; it's just gore.
Yeah, and I'm not a big gore fan. I guess I like more suspense horror films than I don't like the gore stuff. I don't mind it, just not my favorite thing. But another that my son obviously likes horror films as well. But we watched Fright Night, so we watched the original and the new one. And of those two, he liked the original better.
That's because the original was better.
It is. It really is better. We like to watch the new version and the old version. And of course, because he's 10, he gets a kick out of the really bad effects. Some of the films from back in the day.
But those were magic back in the day. Go on. How times have changed. If you're just joining us, this is
about nothing today.
This is a chat. We're just chatting.
We had a huge Facebook fail, and it was Tina's fault because she didn't show up to work at Facebook today.
Well, look at it this way. Now you have a week, so you can come back next Thursday and do the email marketing thing, and you have plenty of time to prepare.
Is that what
right?
it is? Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's good planning. Well, yeah. I'll test everything out, make sure that stuff plays like it's supposed to play.
Facebook is playing nice with Webinar Jam.
When you actually play an injected video, the video plays and not something that sits there and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, we can't do this."
And then I'll snap.
And it all snap, and someone's screen share, stops the broadcast, and nobody's screen sharing.
Yeah.
I really want to know whose web browser that was.
Yeah, today's like Bizarro Day, so we've just gone complete. Not that we ever stay on topic, but
it's the release of emoticons. That's what did it.
That's right. Emoticons broken.
Thanks, millennials.
Hey, you need to find emoticons to express how we feel about that. In case it's not clear.
You could spend hours actually looking for emoticons because there's so many of them.
Oh my goodness!
And I had like about an hour's notice of this, so I'm not totally prepared. I'm just going to select some at random just to show the variety that are available, and let's go for that. And I'm going to try and find the same one again. You see, if you were having, I'm going to change this. You could do a card trick, and then you could reveal what the card was that people had chosen. How's that?
You could just put a bunch of red balloons up.
I could. Right. Right. Okay. This is Be Live in 5.
Or 10, as it says on the screen.
We are the best people to announce this because it means we can have a bit of fun with it. Be Live TV has now announced emoticons. They are available on your agenda. They're available as on-screen updates. You don't have to do anything. Just start a new show. You'll see on the agenda bar, on the text bar, a smiley face. Click the smiley face, and you have access to all the emoticons, and you can bring them in. And you can give your audience reaction, or you can say thank you to everybody by giving them the thumbs up. So use your imagination. Indeed, yes.
Just do this.
Use your imagination and go wild with it. What we'd like to see is, okay, just take a snapshot. This is our challenge to you. Once you've got the emoticons, set up an agenda item with your selection of emoticons and take a snapshot of it and send it to Be Live in 5, and we'll feature it on next week's show.
No, but you take a snapshot of it.
Yeah.
Make a GIF or GIF, however you want to say it, out of it, and then send it in. So we want a GIF of your snapshot of your emoticon. That wraps everything all into one.
It does. Right.
Or you could just go find a GIF of an emoticon and play that.
No. The emoticons have got to be in the BeLive.tv official emoticon set to qualify. We cannot accept any imposters. Right. Oh dear.
like
how far we have strayed.
I know. I mean, it's just.
If you were hoping to find out about how to build your list, tune in next week, and we probably still won't discuss it then because it probably won't work.
Well, you did learn one thing about list building today. An important thing.
Emoticons.
But now, does it help if you use emoticons in your title of your email message that you're sending out? It seems like I read somewhere that people will open them if they're emoticons in the title.
That's about the same as when Periscope introduced the ability to put emoticons into the title of it to, garner attention. Here's the thing about your email list. If you've got to gimmick to get people to open so that they don't read it or unsubscribe or something, then you're doing it wrong.
Right.
If people, if you provide some kind of value when you communicate with somebody, if you enrich someone's life, if you entertain, educate, or empower, follow the 3 E's. You don't need the gimmicks.
I'm going to put that on my agenda. I can use it later. Educate, empower.
Educate, entertain. One of the 3 E's. That's actually something that your business should be doing in everything that it does.
Live video.
I mean, if you've got a product, live video or
today we failed to educate, but we are empowering.
If what you're doing doesn't fall within the 3 E's, and it's part of building your brand, then you are doing it wrong.
So we're doing it right today. We failed at educating because our first broadcast went kaput.
No, we educated very well that Facebook sucks. We educated very well that thanks to millennials, we now have emoticons for the agenda for Be Live.
But we are entertaining, hopefully, and empowering you to use emoticons any way that you like.
Stephen is always entertaining every time he's on camera. That's the only reason I look forward to being able to come on camera when Stephen's on camera, because Stephen is so entertaining.
And
I'm being serious.
Yeah,
empowering.
It's the accent. It's the accent. You don't even have to see Stephen's face. It's the accent. It's this. That's what gets it. I love. You know what? It's because Stephen, I know you've heard it before. I'm sure. From us Americans and stuff like that. What I really truly enjoy is people that are abroad and they enjoy hearing like my accent.
Yeah, but you don't have one.
I don't.
Neither do I.
I do. Oh Lord, Tallulah, come on.
When I was in London.
If you want to find a naval base nowhere near a body of water, look up Tallulah, Tennessee.
We have an Air Force base, not a naval base. The naval base is somewhere else in Tennessee that has no water.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. It's all the same.
It's all the U.S. military, according to Trump.
True story. Just because you mentioned the word there. Secret papers have been released today of what our government thought when President Trump decided to, he put his policy in about immigration. Yeah, that threw our government into a total panic. Yeah, but they've recovered since because obviously circumstances have changed. But
you're Brits.
I mean,
you can't go around uncomposed.
We write the storm. No, it's behind the scenes. It's like the duck paddling underwater. It looks calm on the surface, but underneath.
Okay. I got you.
Right. On your next show, if you're still with us, thank you. On your next show,
we've actually increased viewers. What are you talking about? If you're still with us?
Well, this I'm going to. Earlier today, I was researching about Facebook reach, okay, and how you can actually affect Facebook reach. And the simple answer is you can't. You can do temporary fixes, but you can't do permanent fixes. You can't. And the only way to the way to do it is by spade work, hard work, doing the method that David says of getting people to make sure that they see you see you in their timeline. That's a step. Posting in groups that don't know you, that's another step.
I can tell you how you can increase your reach, and Facebook will always guarantee that you increase your reach.
Okay.
Facebook ads. If you pay Facebook money, they'll increase your reach.
Mm-hmm.
But as Tina was saying the other day, once you've started paying, if you stop paying, your reach will fall.
Yeah, it's she's a fickle mistress.
Yes, she is.
She will not put out once you stop putting money on the dresser.
Oh, good. David, do you remember the motto that we started off with? We mentioned earlier a moment ago.
No, I don't know.
Educate, empower, and entertain. Well, I think
There you go. I just educated you that if you pay a whore money and you stop paying the whore money, that whore's not going to put out. Oh, sure. It's this. Mm-hmm. That's the way it works.
It is, I suppose.
So I've noticed that when you talk about prostitution, you have a thicker accent. What's up with that?
Well,
you're winding each other up now. It's time for some emoticons.
I'm afraid to see what you're going to put on the screen.
Are there any prophylactic emoticons?
Oh my God.
There could be, David. I'm not checking at the moment. Right, okay. So it's a thumbs up from us. If you find a use for them, then all good. There is a competition, and you do have to take a screenshot of your emoji set, turn it into a GIF. Got that right, David? And send it to Be Live in 5, and we'll judge the competition, and the winner will be announced on Webinar Jam next Thursday. If you're watching the replay, it still holds any time up until next Wednesday evening. It's a deadline. If you want to enter the competition, respond to GIF with the emoticons on. Thank you. Right.
Leave your money on the dresser.
We've given our first thoughts of this. Are we going to give our final thoughts? Well, let's just say that.
No, I think I just gave my final thought right there. Just leave your money on the dresser. See you later. Tina?
Right. Tina, it's over to you.
I don't even know what to say. That's you left me speechless.
Oh, she knows what to say. Don't believe that. She's trying to remain that British composure.
It's better.
We have
really
Mr.
Better.
Yeah. We have Mr. John Upton in the house, and he's asking, what is a GIF? And a GIF is a GIF, John. But because we're actually broadcasting west of England, we actually call it a GIF to fall in with everybody else. It's also cleaning detergent, but that's by the by, that's just the UK. Right, so Be Live TV now has emoticons. You will see them as soon as you start your next show. You can use them. It's a smiley face. You can't miss it. Click on it. It gives you a list of zillions, well, in fact, 300 or more icons. And you can include them when you actually have feelings to express that you can't do in words. Like saying to everybody who's watched today, big thumbs up. Thank you. We're actually going to use. Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. Right, Jason, this is a quick run through, and this is the whole gist of the show in 5 sentences without any words.
In 5 sentences?
Right. There we are. Told a story with the agenda. So it is available now when you start your next show. Even if you created it yesterday, it still works today. We wish you all great fun with emoticons, and stop doing that. I'll corpse in a minute too. We're looking for.
You thought you were going to do this with a straight face. That was never happening.
The gods are against me because I'm not going to do a straight face with. Anyway, okay. Final thoughts then. You don't have to mention the word emoticon in your final thoughts as we take our leave and say that have a great weekend. I'll be back with you next week. That's a good way to go out. Goodbye from everybody at Below in 5. Thanks for watching.